Welcome to the 8th grade graduation. I want to congratulate each of you on all your hard work and doing a great job this year. Well, you know, this is not the way that any of us expected this year to end, is it? I expected to see you all dressed up beautifully, surrounded by your family and your friends, and celebrating your 8th grade graduation and celebrating getting through middle school. But here we are. This is not the way that we thought this was going to go. But you know what? Sometimes God writes stories in different ways than we would write them. Sometimes God puts an ending on. It's not the way we would have written the story, but He knows what's best. So I just want to congratulate you on surviving middle school. When you look back at your time in middle school, you can think back about athletic events, getting on the bus and going all the way to EAC. You can think about going to chapel and having middle school connections, the tests, the projects, science fair, robotics, so many different activities. And through all of those, God was teaching you something. He was teaching you about your gifts and abilities. And the whole point of why you're here at PACA is for you to learn how to take those gifts and abilities and give them back to God and use them for His glory and for His kingdom.
to get lost, I'll be your escape route. And I'll call every time that I need something, you help me out. When the sun falls, I will make you see a sky full of stars. And when night comes, I know that you'll be my light. Oh, I need you now. All I'm trying to say is, oh friend, I will be there when life gets cold and dark. Trembling my hands, you'll calm me down. Say let's take a walk under the skies. I believe the moment I know you are here with me. And don't ever forget that, oh, you'll always be my friend. When the sun falls, I will make you see a sky full of stars. You'll be my light, oh, I need you now. All I'm trying to say is, oh friend, I will be there when life gets cold and dark. Trembling my hands, you'll calm me down. Say let's take a walk under the skies.
Thank you everyone for joining us today and celebrating this year's 8th grade graduation. I believe it's important to acknowledge moments like tonight, where we can celebrate achievements, growth, and milestones. This is a time for us to celebrate our elementary and middle school years, as well as honor those who have played an important role in our lives. Every year at graduation time, I've had to characterize an entire class, and every year it's been difficult. But this year, it's been especially hard. This is not because I can't describe them, but because I could go on for a dangerously long time about each distinct, quirky, and vibrant individual. I have been humored by their games, touched by their compassion, charmed by their dialogue, delighted by their projects, and recently inspired by their written discussions. I treasured reading them. When the school year began, I didn't know that God would be leading me out of PACA. Now that it's ending, I am so grateful that I got to finish my journey with such a fun, interesting, and kind group of students. Later in the ceremony, the class will be presenting speeches that they wrote for teachers, coaches, and facilitators who work at PACA. This year, they were asked to also choose an object that represents that person and show that object in the video. This object could reflect a lesson taught by that teacher, a personality trait, or a memory, or anything else that illustrates how they impacted this student's life. I decided to follow that same model in my video speech. In our devotions and discussions, even before knowing you were leaving the school grounds, we as a class have been talking about what we do in times when we feel out of control or lost. We saw these themes in our poems and novel, and we see them in our lives now. One of the last devotions talked about how we are created purposefully for such a time as this. It quoted Jeremiah 1:5 that says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." It can be difficult to understand this right now, when it seems like every day brings a new form of stress, anxiety, or loss. It feels awkward to celebrate a graduation while looking at a screen. That is why my object for your class is this shield with a lion on it. As some of you will recognize, this was from the Narnia play that we did this past semester. Many of you helped me cut out the letters and snow for this production, simultaneously blessing me and making gloriously messy winter wonderland in the classroom. Funny enough, it's not from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe that I chose the object and the subsequent message, but from The Horse and His Boy, another Narnia novel in the series. There is a scene in this novel where the main character, a boy named Shasta, has just completed a very long and arduous journey, and he has found himself lost on a mountaintop alone. Shasta looks back over his life and recent adventures, and all he sees are the horrors, pain, and hardships, and fear that he and his companions just went through. Suddenly, someone else is with him on the mountaintop, a person who he can only hear but cannot see. That someone asks to hear Shasta's story. On page 175, we see this. So Shasta told how he had never known his real father or mother and had been brought up sternly by the fishermen. And then he told the story of his escape and how they were chased by lions and forced to swim for their lives. And of all their dangers in Tashban, about his night among the tombs and how the beasts howled at him from the desert. And he told about the heat and the thirst of their desert journey and how they were almost at their goal when another lion chased them and wounded his friend, and also how very long it was since he had anything to eat. "I do not call you unfortunate," said the large voice. "Don't you think it was bad luck to meet so many lions?" said Shasta. "There was only one lion," said the voice. "What on earth do you mean? I've just told you there were at least 2 lions the first night, and..." "There was only one, but he was swift of foot." "How do you know?" "I was the lion." And as Shasta gaped with open mouth and said nothing, the voice continued, "I was the lion who forced you to join with Erebus. I was the cat who comforted you among the houses of the dead. I was the lion who drove the jackals from you as you slept. I was the lion who gave the horses the new strength of fear for the last mile so that you should reach the king in time. And I was the lion you do not remember, who pushed the boat in which you lay, a child near death, so that it came to shore where a man sat, wakeful at midnight, to receive you." Shasta was in the presence of Aslan, who we know the author C.S. Lewis wrote as Jesus in the form of the great lion in the Narnia series. Until that moment, Shasta thought he was a worthless peasant boy, born to live a life of fear and failure. He hadn't seen that through it all, he had been pursued, protected, ordained, and cared for by the great lion himself, the highest of kings, Aslan. Shasta couldn't see this because he didn't yet know the character of the lion yet, and so he didn't know how much he was loved by him. My prayer for all of you here and abroad, for those who are coming back to PACA, for those who are leaving for this time, for the transition to high school, and for the years to come is this. May you, when you don't feel Jesus in your moments of isolation, remember that, as Deuteronomy 31:6 states, he will never leave you nor forsake you, and choose to reach out to him and not to fear. May you, when you don't see his plan in your moments of chaos, remember that, as Romans 8:28 states, he works all things for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose, and embrace peace as your companion and not anxiety. May you, in your times of loss, grieve and find true rest in God and not in the world, so that, as Philippians 3:8 says, you may find more and more the surpassing value of knowing Christ, and find truly that nothing else compares. It has been a privilege to teach your class. I wish I could have hugged you all and said goodbye. Reality has not met our expectations and what we thought this time would or should look like. God keeps revealing his mercies and his grace, doesn't he? And God really overflowed my cup with blessings from this class. Thank you so much. Be a blessing to your future high school teachers as well. I will be praying for you. God bless you, and congratulations.
Mr. Zucker, I'd like to thank you not only for all that you have taught me about basketball, but also for the example spiritually you have been for me. I have this basketball to represent all that you have taught me about basketball. I would like to thank you for being such an amazing coach. One thing that you say that I will always remember is that we are playing basketball with the other team and not against them. I also want to thank you for the time outside of practice you take to plan them and help us improve. I would especially like to thank you for always being there after school, even if you are going through a hard time in your life. You have been an amazing example of how to take everything to the Lord and trust him no matter the circumstances. Thank you for being such an impactful person in my life. Dona Isli, gostaria de agradecer você por me ensinar português. Agradeço por ter me ensinado o básico quando eu sabia nada na primeira série, e também por ter me ensinado mais sobre gramática nos últimos anos. Sem você, eu não seria capaz de falar português tão bem como eu consigo hoje. Eu tenho aqui esse livro de gramática para representar o quanto você me ensinou sobre a língua portuguesa. Você também tem sido um ótimo exemplo de como viver para Cristo. Você especialmente me ensinou que em qualquer circunstância eu posso confiar no Senhor. As suas histórias que você compartilha conosco sobre como Deus está trabalhando em sua vida ou como Ele trabalhou no passado sempre são encorajadoras e inspiradoras. Obrigada por ser uma professora tão impactante na minha vida.
Hi, my name's Maria, and today I want to talk about one of the most caring and dedicated teachers I know, Mr. Costello. You have been such a great teacher for me, and you made me be interested in learning new things in math. You always help me when I have questions, even the most obvious ones, and your kindness made me feel more comfortable in class and in school. For my object, I chose a chocolate box, because one day when we had a test, you brought us a chocolate box for us to be more motivated to do our test, and it helped. You are always motivating us to do our best and always believing in our potential. I really don't know where you get all your patience from, because we are a loud class, and still, you help us without even complaining, and I believe that's what more people should do. Thank you for being patient with us. One of the best parts of our class is when you tell us your jokes and your wise daily quotes. It always makes class funnier and more enjoyable. I always leave class with a smile on my face because you make class fun. You somehow always manage to make us laugh even though it's 8 in the morning. And you are an amazing teacher in person. Thank you for everything.
Hey Mr. Lima, I wanted to say I'm grateful for having you as my art teacher. You have always been so supportive, calm, patient, nice, talented, and you explain well. Whenever I'm stuck on a part of any project, you help me by calmly instructing me. Whenever you see there is room for improvement, you give us gentle and useful feedback. One of the things I most like about you is that you're fun and can relate to us because of your young hobbies and interests. For my object, I chose a marble painting because it reminds me of your characteristics. It is a detailed painting, so it requires talent and patience. The marble characters represent your young and approachable interests. Thank you for all you taught me. Art and good values. Olá, senhora Rug. Quero agradecer a você por sempre estar ao meu lado e da equipe. Sou muito grata por ter tido você como minha treinadora. Você não apenas me ensinou voleibol, mas também me ensinou bondade, paciência, foco, persistência e verdadeiro valor de uma equipe. Você não é apenas incrivelmente habilidosa no vôlei, mas também um ótimo professor e líder. Algumas coisas que eu acho inspiradoras em você é como é paciente com a equipe, como você nos inspirou a melhorar e não desistir, suas estratégias para os jogos, como mostrou seu amor por Jesus quando nos ensinou, e suas palavras alegres e encorajadoras. Para o meu objeto, escolhi meu tênis de voleibol, porque é assim que eu a conheci. O objeto me lembra das coisas que você me ensinou e todos os bons momentos em que tive você como minha treinadora. Obrigada por tudo.
Professor Lucas, eu quero agradecer neste momento especial por seu bom trabalho como nosso professor de violão. Eu fico agradecido por sua compreensão e por sua paciência durante as nossas aulas, por seu esforço para nos ajudar quando não conseguíamos entender alguma coisa ou quando tínhamos alguma dificuldade. Obrigado porque desde a minha primeira aula você me ajudou a melhorar as minhas habilidades e compreensão da música. Por isso, eu trago meu violão. Ele representa o tempo de aprendizado na aula, assim como o seu trabalho. Obrigado, professor.
Thank you, Mrs. Pauletti, for how you've invested in us as a class. In me personally, I like your sense of humor and appreciate your creativity to solve problems. You are always looking for a way to make learning better and more fun. Today I have these glasses with me to remind me of you. I chose glasses because you wear glasses and because you really see your students. You really see me as a unique person. That makes me feel loved. Thank you.
Eu gostaria de agradecer aos senhores. Ele foi uma autolição completa do nosso último professor de História e Geografia. Uma coisa que eu gosto dele é que ele não só se importava com nossas notas, ele também se importava com o nosso bem-estar e, em geral, os estudantes dele. Uma coisa que eu gostei muito dele é que ele podia ajudar todo mundo, de maneiras bem legais, tipo fazer jogo de Kahoot, fazer um montão de brincadeira relevante à matéria, e é muito legal. Para ser honesto, o Ups Maurício é uma pessoa muito legal para mim e eu gosto muito dele. Obrigado, Maurício. Você sempre... Essa sempre vai ser um bom amigo pra mim. E vou te lembrar pra sempre. Eu te considero, pra ser honesto, um dos melhores professores que eu já tive. Uma coisa que eu não falei é que você é a razão que eu comecei a gostar muito de história e geografia, porque os últimos professores eram muito chatos, mas você era muito legal. Eu sei que isso aqui tá parecendo que eu sou um robô falando fora de um papel, mas de verdade, Maurício, obrigado. E para mostrar a sua habilidade, eu gostaria de usar essa coisa de não sensacional, era para ser uma das coisas que pode parar, mas não tinha, então vamos imaginar que é isso. Eu acho que é para mostrar a sua habilidade de parar as pessoas quando eles estão tristes e animá-las. Obrigado, Maurício.
Querida Mrs. Castanho, obrigada por todos os esforços extras que você faz para me ajudar a crescer e os desafios que você me incentiva a enfrentar para me ajudar a ser quem eu sou. Você não é apenas uma professora, é uma amiga, mentora e guia, todos reunidos em uma única pessoa. Serei sempre grata a você por seu apoio e bondade. Você me ajudou a romper os meus limites quando eu pensava que não conseguiria fazer mais nenhuma flexão. Você, com seus desafios, acredita no nosso potencial, nos fazendo dar inúmeras voltas na quadra quando pensávamos que não seríamos capazes de dar mais nenhuma volta. Você me ensinou quando temos um objetivo, não podemos desistir no meio do caminho. E que é muito melhor trabalharmos em grupo, jogando uma bola para o outro, sem deixá-la cair, do que às vezes tentarmos equilibrar tudo sozinha. Tudo que aprendi com você no esporte, com certeza, são lições que porei em prática em todas as áreas da minha vida. Obrigada por acreditar em cada um de nós e desenvolver nosso potencial no esporte e na vida.
Dear Miss Tomas, remembering all the memories of second grade was a really easy thing for me to do. I always remembered when you would turn on the music and everyone would dance following the gestures on the board. You would help me with my difficulties in school, so I was really sad when I heard that you were going to leave PACA. I was always grateful for all the things you did for me, and for making our classes really fun and enjoyable, wanting us to learn more. You would always make my day brighter and always cared for each and every student that you had. Thank you for making a big impact in my life and making fun memories for me. The object that I chose was Christmas decoration lights, because you make my day brighter, and not just for me but for other students too. You would make it a beautiful place so that we could learn new things and also lead us the right way. Also, when we decorate with lights, they make things beautiful, and you would always keep a happy face and greet us very well. I am very thankful for everything you have done for me, and I will never forget it. I hope that your work can help more children and impact their lives as you have impacted mine.
Dear Mrs. Costello, I want to thank you for your dedication to the basketball team. You have been really helpful to me and many other girls that have decided to learn the sport. I have really been encouraged by you, and your help really made a difference in me as a player and a person. I am very grateful that you were able to see potential in me even when I was the girl back in the back that couldn't really dribble without looking down and struggled to grasp concepts of the plays. I am very grateful for all the opportunities you gave me and the other girls on our team outside of school. When you told us that PACA had been invited for the Junior NBA tournament, I was very excited and happy that you were telling me that I was going to play. If I hadn't been for this opportunity, I would still be very nervous every time I stepped onto the court. I would have never developed the feeling of having lots of playing time before the 2019 Junior Varsity Games and Little Eight. Anyone who you coach can definitely see your passion toward basketball and how you want us to succeed.
I have never personally had a coach that has shown so much determination toward teaching basketball. Proof of your determination into coaching and the skills you gave us are the golden medals that we have at home and the first place trophies we have obtained from playing hard. When I look back from where I started, I can see how far you have brought me and how much I've improved since I've had you as a coach. Of course, I still have lots of things to learn from you, and I am looking forward for the next basketball season. Please continue to be wonderful coach you are. With all my sincerity, thank you, Mrs. Costello.
Dear Mr. Dewey, thank you for being an amazing middle school principal. We are all sad to hear that you're leaving PACA, but I wish you the best of luck in the future. Thank you for giving us devotionals every week, helping us have a good start to the day. My object is the Bible. It is because it shows how you help me better my understanding of the Bible and the scripture, and it shows how close you are with God and how faithful you are. You also could teach it very well, so that's why I chose the Bible. Also, thank you for serving at PACA for such a long time, and thank you for giving me amazing middle school connections and being a great leader for our group. Thank you for giving us amazing food during middle school connections like vegetables and ranch. I learned a lot from you, and I'm very grateful for God putting you in my life. We will all miss you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Stockman, for being my Bible teacher. You have made me view my own beliefs in different perspectives and changed me as a person. I really enjoyed having you as my teacher this year. You are always making us laugh, and not just in class, but even while we are stuck at home with your funny videos. I want to thank you for giving us Bible verses that have helped me through difficult times. You have taught me that what I believe in does not stop in memorizing Bible verses and reading the Bible, but it is so much more. I always look forward to our class, even on Mondays when I am not in my best mood. Learning with you has been a new experience for me, and this is in a good way. I chose an air cannon as my object because every Monday morning you would have this in your hand, ready to shoot at anyone who dared to lay down their head during your class. It was a relief to start the week with joy and happiness. Now, for the last time, with all my gratitude, I just want to say thank you.
Querida Dona Ana Cláudia, antes de tudo, eu espero que você esteja bem e saudável. Eu estou escrevendo essa carta para te agradecer por todas as lições de vida e de aula. Antes de entrar no sexto ano, eu tinha muita vergonha de perguntar na aula, de falar na frente da sala, mas aí você me ensinou a superar esse obstáculo e vencer os meus medos. Você me ajudou a ser uma pessoa mais confiante e acreditar no meu potencial. Isso mudou a minha vida. Um objeto que me lembra das suas aulas e de você é um pente. Eu lembro do dia que estava penteando meu cabelo de cima para baixo e não começando das pontas. Aí você pegou meu pente e mostrou como era o jeito certo. Desde então, eu pentei meu cabelo das pontas até a raiz e eu não tenho mais ponta dupla. Eu sou muito grata por todas as lições e conselhos. Obrigada mesmo por acreditar no meu potencial e elogiar meus desenhos. Eu sou bem mais confiante agora. Eu não tenho mais vergonha de perguntar. E meus desenhos são muito melhores. Porque você foi uma das pessoas que me motivou a nunca desistir. Obrigada por tudo. Carinho. Dear Mrs. Zerker, I hope that you are well and really miss science class. I'm writing this letter to thank you for everything. You are one of the only teachers that really believed in my potential and capacity, and I am extremely grateful for all the lessons you gave us, and I really appreciate everything you did for us. In elementary, I had a very hard time in science and learning in general, but after you became my teacher, everything changed. Because of you, I love science, and I want to learn more and more. And you helped me build my character and help shape me into becoming who I am. One object that reminds me of you is Snoopy. Didn't have Snoopy, so I used a dog. And the passion that you have for Snoopy and showing that to the class made me like science even more because it showed me that science and learning could also be fun and not constantly stressful. Thank you for always explaining answers to my questions thoroughly, making sure I really understood. You helped me be more confident and have self-esteem. You helped me learn how to deal with troubles and never keep things to myself. Thank you for changing my life. Sincerely, Laura.
Hey, Miss V.
I want to thank you for always being there for me and the team. I don't know you very well, but I'm very grateful for you. This past year, you have showed me compassion and kindness. One of the things that I find most inspiring about you is that you are so very selfless. For example, that game at EAC, you took all of our stuff so that we could get changed and get ready for the game. You didn't have to do that, but you did. You always let us go first, and you are not stubborn. I want to thank you for always listening and having an open mind to whatever it is that the team and I want to try out. A soccer ball is what I have chosen as my object. This object is the thing that made us come together to play an exceptional sport. This object reminds me of how dedicated you are. You started playing soccer and futsal this year, however, you have been an amazing coach. And you have always been willing to learn from your mistakes, which really motivates me even more to keep on trying. I see you as a very inspiring person, and I'm very grateful to you for making me into a more selfless and humble person. You have a great personality that brings joy and shows the glory of God. One day I aspire to have that relationship with God, and thank you for being there for the team and I. Moreover, thank you for showing me how to be more hardworking. I never got to study under you as a student, but I know that you are a very dedicated and caring person. Soccer and futsal balls are the two things that brought us together. But you meant more than just a coach to me. I want to get to know you better in the coming years, but in the little time we have had, you have already made me into a better person. Thank you.
Olá, professora Cristina. Eu quero agradecer a você por ser uma das melhores professoras que eu já tive. Você foi uma das primeiras professoras de português que eu tive. Você me ensinou a falar português e você foi bem paciente comigo. Eu tenho muitas lembranças que eu fiz na sua sala de aula. Eu não tenho certeza se você lembra, mas na aula de geografia você sempre deixava eu, Katie, Ali e Lucas comer leis. Eu lembro que toda semana eu trazia um pacote dos chips e você dava um olhar sério, mas no final você sempre ria e falava pode comer, só não fala em inglês. Você sempre foi uma professora muito carinhosa e bondosa. Esse objeto traz muitas memórias para mim. Você nos deu liberdade por nós divertirmos e eu te agradeço muito por isso. Você achou um jeito de ensinar sem ser rigorosa demais. Também me lembro quando eu escondia atrás da sua mesa para te assustar. Essas coisas talvez não seriam consideradas muito grandes, mas para mim, essas aventuras pequenas sempre vão me lembrar da professora ótima que você foi para mim. Você é uma pessoa bem dedicada e definitivamente boa em português. Porém, o mais importante, uma pessoa boa e muito especial para mim. Eu sinto falta dos seus abraços acolhedores, cheios de amor, e também sinto falta de jogar cara a cara com você. Pessoalmente, você me inspirou a ser uma pessoa melhor, e você me ajudou a ser mais aberta com outras pessoas. Eu sempre ficava tímida o dia inteiro, mas quando chegava na sua aula, eu ficava falando e sorrindo. Eu me lembro de que antes português era uma das aulas que eu sempre ficava ansiosa para chegar. E isso era porque você era uma professora legal. Eu sempre vou ser muito grata por ter tido você como minha professora. Obrigada por tudo, professora Cristina.
Prezado Silvano, sou grata a você por ser meu professor. Você realmente me ajudou a aprender e me desenvolver esse ano. Estar na sua aula foi divertido e você ensinou muito bem. Sempre foi paciente enquanto nos escrevemos as anotações e esperou que terminássemos de copiá-las, mesmo que demorássemos muito tempo para escrevê-las. Você me ajudou neste ano a aprender geografia. Dear Mrs. Buchanan, I'm really thankful for the influence that you've had on my life. You helped me grow spiritually and physically, and I'm really thankful because of it. Thank you for being my coach and helping me grow, and it was really fun practicing with you. It was also fun every time you brought Lorena to practice because it made it much more enjoyable. And thank you for investing your time in doing everything that you did. And the object that I chose was a soccer ball. It's not the most creative, but it's something that I can relate to you with because that's the main thing that you helped me with. And you also helped me develop and gain experience. So I'm thankful to you because of it.
Thank you, Mr. Buchanan. I'm very grateful for you being in my life. So for your object, I chose wireless earphones, and I chose earphones because you would always listen to me and help me with my overthinking or family issues when I really needed someone to be there for me. And thank you for being there for me when I needed someone, because I don't know what I would have done without you. I feel like we have a strong connection and we share many memories together. You even convinced me to play a sport I don't like for a whole semester. And we also did a lot of fun things together, like listening to music and sharing food together. And a pizza fight. So, I have a lot of fun when I'm with you, and you help me a lot with my problems. So, thank you so much. Eu sou muito grata a você, Verônica. Obrigada. O objeto que escolhi para você é uma bola de vôlei. Eu escolhi uma bola de vôlei não só porque você foi uma das técnicas, mas porque você me ajudou a melhorar nas minhas habilidades quando eu estava no 6º ano. Você sempre foi uma pessoa fácil de conversar e bem legal comigo, e obrigada por isso também. Sou grata a você e a Mrs. Rugg por sempre trazer comida pra gente e organizar bake sales pra gente conseguir fazer dinheiro pra comprar short ou pra ajudar a pagar no nosso Little Aids. Também sou grata por sempre me dar conselhos em como melhorar. Porque às vezes eu não sabia exatamente o que fazer e você me ajudava. Então, muito obrigada, Verônica.
Querida professora Ana Lúcia, eu me lembro muito bem do dia que eu conheci você, professora. A senhora nos parou, os alunos agitados, e esperou por silêncio. Nossa primeira professora de português, uma que eu nunca vou esquecer. As Passas Verdes me ensinaram a organização. O livro Gorducho me ensinou a língua portuguesa, a que falo até hoje. E o cantinho de leitura iniciou a minha paixão por leitura e escrita. Com tudo isso, professora, gostaria de te agradecer. A senhora me ensinou muito durante os anos. E agora também sendo líder do Middle School Connections. Essa pasta verde não contém mais meus livros de escola, mas as lembranças que eu criei durante os anos, como trabalhos, desenhos, projetos e muito mais. Logo percebi que a pasta que guardava lembranças também era uma lembrança. Então, professora Ana Lúcia, muito obrigada por ser parte das minhas memórias. Dear Miss DeBoer, the first time I saw you was when you came to 2nd grade room to share about the story of your family. When I met you in 3rd grade, I knew you were going to be an entertaining teacher. I'll never forget the old lady must she rain phrase you always used to say when you forgot something. Honestly, I forget some things too. 3rd grade passed by so quickly, I barely remember it. But what stood out the most to me was when we learned about ancient Rome. Every story I heard made me more fascinated with history, and at that time I wasn't a really big fan of history. For all of that, I thank you, Ms. DeBoer. Every story you told, from family stories to other classes, made me want to make a story of my own. A story worth telling. The marbles you gave everyone in class when you left, the ones I have here, they're still nicely stored in my room. It's a memento that will always remind me of my dear 3rd grade teacher. So, thank you for being my teacher, birthday buddy, a friend to rely on, and an incredible person in my life.
Here's my teacher speech. To my dear Miss Meacham, I may not always say it, but when I do, thank you for all the extra efforts you made to help us grow. I will never forget all the fun activities you did to enhance our learning. I wish I had a chance to properly thank you for being such an amazing teacher. Whenever someone mentions first grade, my first thought is Marvelous Me. The story was that when Miss Meacham was tired or sick, Marvelous Me would come in her place. She would always have a frog in her head, and then one day I remember she explained that the frog was from Egypt. She was looking at the Nile River and a frog jumped on her head and never left her. She had so much patience with us and she had such an electric personality. One of my favorite moments is during the first week of second grade. Miss Meacham made brownies for the entire class and left them with Miss Tomas so that we can eat them during class. I love her and miss her a lot, but I'm grateful that she is no longer in pain, that she is with God watching over us with a smile on her face. If I could say one last thing to her, I would say thank you, I love you, and I am honored to be part of the last class that you taught at PACA, and that you will always be my memories. And my object is this little frog. Look at my frog. Because if Marvelous Me always had a frog in her head, because when she went to Egypt, she was looking at the Nile River, and a frog jumped in her head and has never left her since. So just the thought of Marvelous Me makes me smile. So this little frog kind of represents just a joy that she brought to many students of hers. And I'm very grateful for her. And that's my teacher speech.
Dear Mrs. Bridget, thank you for being so funny during our classes. That is what enabled me to learn so well and let our class have fun together with you. Your way of communicating with your students inspired me to search for continuous growth and wisdom. You motivated me to develop my strengths and to work on my weaknesses. So I just would like to express all my gratitude to you on the day of my graduation. The object that I chose that mostly represents you and how I was while being in your class was a fluffy smiley face. I chose that object because when I was in 7th grade, the classes you taught us were fun and we smiled a lot. You always put a smile on my face when you came to class. Thank you for being so funny. Thank you, Belton Mira.
In the course of my academic journey, few people, if not any, have shown me so much dedication and care as Mr. Rugg. Throughout my 9 years at PACA, there was not one moment where I doubted his hospitality and dedication to the school and its community. As far as I can perceive, Mr. Rugg is one of the most compassionate and altruistic men I have ever met. Since he was spending this current year with him in middle school connections, a part of the 8th grade students has been able to grow an even stronger connection with him, creating fun moments for us. Another moment my appreciation towards Mr. Rugg started came in the moments I first visited PACA as a 6-year-old child. I will never forget the generosity and goodwill he has shown to my family, welcoming us to the school with open arms. So to represent this, I chose this wool-confected llama to show my perception. If you are not aware of Inca culture, llamas are used in the Andes Mountains to carry loads for local people, and that is what I see him doing. He not only sustains a part of my load, but also that of the entire school and much more. Although his period here in PACA is coming to an end, what he has left for us is undeniably beautiful.
I am thanking Mr. Mark Mauser, aka my dad. There are too many words to put down on paper to describe how thankful I am for you and everything you have done for me my entire life. You have encouraged me to always do my best for the glory of God, and that is one of the best pieces of advice a father could give a daughter and a teacher give a student. I really enjoyed having you as a 5th grade math teacher, volleyball companion, and a person to lean on when I was having a bad day at school. Thank you for always being there for me and reminding me to be there for others who are having bad days as well. You have been such a great example to me of what it means to be a friend and a light in the darkness. You have truly helped me get through some of the hardest days of school, whether that be through a Bible verse, dad advice, or even a sip of your dark, bubbly liquid we all call Coke. Adding to all the things you've inspired me with, you have helped me a lot academically. You've been patient to explain things over and over again. You have studied with me for my tests, helped with projects, and taught me how to do math in a simple and easy way. I would not be where I am academically today without your help. God has not only blessed me by allowing you to be one of my teachers, but also to be my dad. I hope God blesses you just as much as you have blessed me. Thank you. I am thanking Mrs. Stockman, my 5th grade teacher. Thank you, Mrs. Stockman, for giving me, along with the rest of the 2024 class, an amazing 5th grade year. I know we only had 1 semester with you, but that 1 semester was incredible. Now looking back on that year, my heart fills with sweet and cherishable memories, with you and with my class. I remember that in your class I always felt important and valued. I remember when we did an activity where people would say fun memories or encouraging comments about each person, and this was very edifying and special. I especially thank you for giving us your precious time and love when I'm sure it was hard for you to be away from your new daughter, Larissa. I thank you for your fun learning tactics and exciting activities that made each day an adventure. You were and are a great role model of a godly person to me, and I hope you know your love for God has impacted and inspired my relationship with Him. I also want to show you my gratitude for how helpful you were in my transition to middle school through Bridges. It would have been a lot harder without you. I hope you know you're a huge blessing to my class and me, and that we all have a special place for you in our hearts. You have changed the class of 2024, and for that, we all thank you so much.
Hi, Ms. Thompson. I'm very thankful that you always have been so patient and understanding with me. I'm very grateful for how your happiness is passed on to others, and how your smile can cause others to smile too. I'm so grateful that I had you as a teacher, and always hearing your stories that motivate me more and more. Seeing how God touched and is in your life gives me hope that everyone can find Him and love Him too. The object I'm going to choose is related to a story that you told our class, the trash can man. It may seem weird, but I'm choosing a trash can as my object because this trash can changed the man's life. It saved him and inspired him to follow and have faith in God. And this story really touched me. And I saw how God can work in mysterious and shocking ways. So I want to end this speech saying that I know God has put you in my life for a reason, and I met you because God wanted me to. Ms. Thompson, I thank you for everything, for your kindness, and for your loving and caring personality.
Hi, my name is Leonardo Pedroso. The teacher that I chose to thank is Andrew Lorimer. And the object that I chose to represent him is a soccer ball. Although many may think that Andrew, as a soccer and futsal coach, has only taught me things about sports, they are completely wrong. Andrew has taught me a lot more than I initially thought I was going to learn when I first joined sports practices. He has taught me a lot about soccer and futsal and the various important lessons that come with it. He has taught me to work hard, and although many times I didn't try hard, he pushed me. This sometimes made me a little angry, but as time passed, I realized that he was trying to make me better, and I think that he has succeeded. Not only has Andrew made me a better goalie, he has also made me a better person. As more time goes on, the more I realize how much he has taught me. He made me work hard and learn to never give up. Many times I mess up or be lazy, and he would correct me and strive to help me get better. The time I spent with Andrew as my coach has really changed me for the better. I have become a better person and have really learned what it means to work as a team, to never give up, and to have grit. These are lessons that I will never forget, and memories with him and our team that I will forever cherish. My last JV season has been cut short, but what I have learned from him will forever be with me, anywhere I go. Thank you, Andrew.
Hi, my name is Leonardo Pedroso, and the teacher that I chose to thank was Mrs. Serafini.
The object that I chose to represent her was a book. Mrs. Serafini has taught me many things in life. She was one of the first people that made me truly understand the importance of books. She showed me that books were not only some words on a piece of paper, but that they told a story that in some way or another could be applied to our lives to make us better people. She sparked my love for books and reading, and that has helped me in many situations in life. But more than just books, Mrs. Serafini has taught me something way more important: hospitality. Every single time me and my family needed something, she would offer to help us. And numerous times she had invited us to stay at her house, and every time we went there, it was great. She made us feel comfortable and helped us with anything we needed. Mrs. Serafini has taught a lot to me, and one of the lessons I treasure the most is how she taught me to treat others. We should always strive to help others, even if it means making things harder for us.
This is a lesson that has truly changed me, and one for which I will forever be grateful. The book represents that because not only did she teach me about the importance of books, this book was also a gift that she gave to me, which shows her kindness and her thoughtfulness to give such a great gift. Thank you, Mrs. Serafini.
Agradeço a você, professora Lilian, por ter tido um papel importante na minha vida nesses últimos 3 anos. Algo que amo em você é que você ama nós todos como se todos fôssemos seus filhos. Você já me ajudou com várias situações de problemas, de escola, pessoais, problemas com ansiedade e muito mais. Seus conselhos e abraços foram muito importantes para mim nesses anos de middle school. Eu sou muito grata por você em minha vida e eu sei que muitas outras jovens serão bem influenciadas por você no futuro. O meu objeto que eu escolhi para representar isso foi a capa do livro His Princess, Love Letters from Your King, porque foi esse o livro que a Dona Lilian leu no meu primeiro Little 8 de Devotions para nós. I also would like to thank Mr. Wesley. He is not only an amazing father, but also an amazing teacher and friend. I am thankful for him and all he has taught me in the last 14 years. He has showed me how to be a good person and taught me how to love my neighbors. Even though these lessons are far from over, I want to thank him for teaching me so many lessons I can take for life. The object I chose was a baton because a maestro guides his musicians through the music. Mr. Wesley has guided me through all the lessons he has taught me so far, and I know that there are many more to come.
Meu pai, ou melhor dizendo, meu coach, né? Se deu tudo pra ficar comigo. Foi difícil, né? Eu sei, pois você teve que sacrificar seu tempo, mas confesso que aprendi muito com você. Você me deu força em cada treino, confiança em cada jogo, felicidade quando eu perdia e humildade quando eu vencia. Você ficou comigo quando eu machuquei meu joelho, né? Que na realidade foi a pior parte do meu ano esportivo. Mas acima de tudo você é meu pai, meu herói e a minha inspiração. Você não é apenas meu treinador de futebol, você é meu treinador da vida. Por sua causa eu sou uma ótima pessoa. E você não é apenas o melhor treinador que eu já tive, mas o melhor presente que Deus já me deu. Então, a gente tinha que escolher um objeto que nos representasse. E eu escolhi uma mesa de som, mas eu não tenho uma mesa de som aqui em casa. E a coisa mais próxima que eu tenho é esse daqui. Esse programinha vale ouro e eu faço música nele. Acho que isso aqui representa nós dois. Ele queria muito equalizar as músicas, né, que ele escuta, gravar e equalizar. E eu gosto de criar, então acho que isso a gente tem algo em comum. Para finalizar, eu quero dizer obrigado. Obrigado por estar comigo e obrigado por ser o meu pai.
Dear Miss Beto, I never understood or liked math until I had you as a teacher. I always thought that math was going to be a subject that I would never understand. But I found out that it can be fun and interesting, and you helped me to like it and to understand a lot about math. You made it your priority to help me learn in a fun and different way. Every week was special, and it was the first time in my life that I actually understood something that was to do with math. The object I chose is a die. In 6th grade, almost every Friday we would play a game in where we used dice. And that game helped me to learn and understand math, and I am so thankful for that. You have helped me in so many ways, and I have no words to express my gratitude and thankfulness to you. Thank you so much.
Since the first time I heard about the legendary classes with Mr. Rest, I knew that you would end up being a great example of a person I want to be like. You are such a fun person to be around, and when I talk about your classes, the first thing that comes to my mind is your weasel. I have a toy that kind of looks like a weasel, and I keep it at a very special place because it reminds me of you and your family. I can promise you that you are the teacher that every student enjoyed having class with because of how fun you are. The best thing about you is how everything you do is for Christ, and even though we don't understand his actions sometimes, you are the biggest example of someone that at the end of the day will always come back to Christ. Your story isn't one of sadness, but a testimony of how a life with Christ is worth it. To me, you are an inspiration, and I want you to know that your family has made a pretty big impact on the PACA community today, and will continue to be one for a long time. Your testimony is one that shows perseverance and courage at its strongest, My family specifically has such a great amount of love for all of you that you can trust us with anything that you need. We love you, Mr. Rass, and God's plan for your life is greater than our human minds could ever imagine. Go. Dear Mr. Souza, I want to start by telling you how great of a teacher you are. You are a person that people are willing to learn from. Someone that leads by example. You have a really strong character. You are what you are, and it doesn't matter what people think. You are a follower of Christ, and you always teach us according to what the Bible says. You are a person that works according to the perseverance that is in you, and you're not only a great inspiration, but a great coach. Your perseverance reminds me of the perseverance of an ant, and I chose this object because it's an insect, and it reminds me of an ant. They cross vast distances and do a lot of hard work to get what they want. And ever since you became coach and athletic director, you work hard to make the student athlete community at PACA the way it is today. You honor people who chose Christ, and you never let Christians be the weak ones. You go beyond the standard, and for me, that makes you someone that reminds me of Jesus. You're a person that people want to learn from. I see you as a person that is always in tune with what's happening, someone who always takes initiative. You're a person that sees someone's you're the type of person that sees someone's hard work and doesn't let it go by unseen. You're a person that teaches according to biblical moral standards, and that makes you not only a great coach, but a great inspiration.
Hello, Miss Audrey. I choose colorful flowers for my object. You made my life at PACA colorful and full of happiness. You taught me a lot of stuff. This year was my first year at PACA. I was able to speak English for school, but in my first grammar class, I wasn't able to understand much. I lived in America for about 3 years and a half. I was 9 years old when I went back to Japan. At school in America, we only learned simple grammar since I was in 3rd grade. But in the ELL class, we started from the basic stuff, and this helped me a lot. I really liked how we made the class fun using games. I especially liked the one where we find words out of the random letters. We couldn't beat you. But I want to do it again, and next time we will beat you. Also, the one where we had to act out the words and our partner had to guess what it was. That game was fun. It was hard to act out the words though. During class, you always explain things neatly and you have a bright personality, which also makes class fun too. Thank you. Hello, Dona Renata. I choose the flag of Brazil for my object. When I came to Brazil, I did not know a single thing about the country. I knew what the language they spoke and also the fact that it was the farthest country from Japan. I was really excited to go to Brazil. I have been to other countries for vacation, and even though English wasn't their language, most people understood it. But in Brazil, most people didn't. I was very shocked about it. But throughout your Portuguese class, I learned a lot more than just the language, like about the history of Brazil and the famous foods and snacks. I really liked when you taught about the history of Brazil, about Bahia, and how they divided Brazil in the past. Everything was new and interesting to me. Portuguese is hard. There are a lot of things to remember. I liked how you made learning Portuguese fun by including games and PowerPoints. I sometimes forget some of the grammar, but you always explain the things to me again. That was very helpful. I really like and enjoy Portuguese class. Thank you.
You guys know that I love middle school. I've spent 20 or 30 years of my life in middle school. And it's an extremely important time. It's a time where you're learning who you are and you're allowing God to teach you things that are going to shape you for the rest of your life. Now you're moving into high school. And in fact, I'll already call you high schooler. So congratulations. And I just continue to pray that you use everything you've learned here, all the good lessons, all the things from God's Word, all those things about who God is shaping you into be as you go on into high school and in the rest of your life. May God bless each of you. It's our privilege, and on behalf of all the teachers and the staff here at PACA, we want to say it's our privilege to serve you and to be a part of your middle school time. Katie Costello. Ria Gahoni Dalo. Sarah Cortez Diaz. Gabriel Andres Fajardo. Micah Anthony Fawcett. Túlio Feitosa. Julie Gomes Danita. Han. Sarah Isabel Hatcher. Lucas Soon Hyung Hong. Augusto Sebin Jangi. Laura Hai Mi Jian. Anvita Johari. Karina Lorimer. Beatriz Eugene Ko. Nicole Chia Hui Lin. Isabel Cristina Lobato. Belton Meira. Francisco Morales. Allie Grace Mauser. Christina Paik. Leonardo Tomé Pedroso. Clarice Penteado. Celo Ferreira de Carvalho Santos. Vani Ferreira Serafini. Tartoni. Miho Yuhara.
And by the way
Congratulations again, and let me close our graduation time in prayer. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for each of these precious students that you've brought to PACA. Thank you for all their years in middle school. Lord, thank you for being at work in their lives. Thank you for what you've taught them. Thank you for each gift and ability that you've given to them. I pray your blessing on each one, each of their families, and Lord, each one as they move on into high school. Lord, I pray that you go before them, that you bless them, that you care for them, and most of all, Lord, allow them to use every single thing that you've given them for your glory and for your honor. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.